Right, to boxing, the breaking news in the last hour is that Amir Khan has retired from the sport after an incredible career. We can get some reaction and go live to Andy Scott in Manchester, where the weigh-in for the third Boxer series is taking place. Andy, obviously you worked the Brook fight, so does this feel like the right time for Khan to hang up his gloves?
Well, I think certainly all of us that have worked with Amir Khan throughout his career, we've seen the best of Amir. He's not defined by that Kell Brook result, regardless of what you think about it. He had an amazing career ever since he was a 17-year-old, inspiring a whole generation, and it was just a pleasure to work with him. I do want to say that from a Sky Sports Boxing point of view, from personally, and I think for Johnny and Dave, some of our best nights in the professional seats have been covering Amir Khan. He was pure entertainment. It was just a pleasure to be with him. One thing I want to start with Johnny Nelson is this quote that he has released in his statement, which is, "Boxing made me and it gave me a platform which I have proudly used to help and inspire others." I mean, what better endorsement for what Amir Khan did inside the ropes?
Second piece of great news in regards to those two. I was so happy when Kell announced his retirement. Now Amir has done exactly the same. I thought, I'm so happy for that, because I've seen this guy. This guy's got to be the fastest fighter I've ever seen live on his day. And you know what? These two have given so much to the game. The general public won't realise how good and what both fighters have done and what Amir Khan has done and how good he actually is. Because remember, such a big fight with Kell Brook. But fighting people that understand the fight game, understand how good he was and exactly what he achieved and how much bottle he showed. You know, going over to America and basing himself there and fighting the best. So it's good news, and I'm quite sure he and his family will be very happy.
Dave, do you echo that when it was time to watch Amir Khan, you almost watched through your fingers because you just knew he was always on a knife edge? He was that entertaining.
The thing is, he had skills in, like Johnny said, the speed that he had as well, but he had this immense bravery and heart where even if he was winning a fight, he would want to stand there and engage, which is rolling the dice, and we've seen before, you know, where he'd show his vulnerabilities. But that's what, like you said, made him exciting, made him a must-watch fighter, and it's been a fantastic career. You look at the names that he's fought in his career, you look at the wins. Marcus Maidana, that performance will always stand out for me because it was unbelievable, you know, and you see that is what Amir Khan is for me. You know, yes, he's got the skills and everything, but he can stand there and brave it out with a massive punch like Maidana. And when it came to the fight with Kell Brook, I always said that I would want that to be both of them's last fight, whoever won regardless. And I'm so happy that both of them have retired.
Let's move on to the Boxer series, the cruiserweights. That's the reason we're here today. This tournament is about characters. I mean, just for example, quarterfinal number 3, Ricky Reeves against Anis Taj. You've got the head of year meets a law graduate. You know, this is going to change somebody's life. And we've worked with world champions in these short form tournaments, and we've worked with people that, you know, are at the start of their career. This could be the platform that changes everything. You
speak about a platform. The other day we announced Ben Whittaker, and he had all the hullabaloo, all the cameras and everything behind him, the big promotion. For these fighters here, these novices here, this is their moment, this is that time, because the general public can get to know who they are and can get to get behind their story, get behind their journey. So it's now given people an opportunity to be seen, to succeed. And you've got fighters that have had a dozen fights, you've got fighters that have had one fight. I like this because anybody can win it, because the format suits. You've got to be a novice. You've got to be raw. You've got to be kind of ignorant of not being too smart and losing the fight that way.
You have to give these guys credits for coming on and telling their story as well. Someone like Jack Fay, who was homeless 18 months ago, he's a hod carrier by trade. Ellis Brown, the sprinter, Jay Farrell, the two most experienced guys in the tournament. Sheldon McDonald, Johnny's fighter, who's doing it in memory of his brother Brandon, who passed away. It's about the stories, not just inside the ring, but outside the ring as well.
I think what's key in this is because, you know, they're not mainstream fighters, people might not have heard them outside their own fan base. It's very important that they connect with people that don't know who you are, because that makes you want them to win. You know, and I look at the two stories there, like you said, it was Sheldon and for Jack, and that reaches out to me, and it makes me want to follow them, and regardless of what happens on tomorrow night's show, beyond the career, I want to follow those. You know, I've got two Sheffield boys here. I'm from Sheffield, so I want both of them to do well as well. But I think you need to connect with the fans, and especially when they don't know who you are. And that's what this format does. And one thing I will say to all the fighters that are here is that all this, the lights, the publicity, the Sky Sports backing, it's all there right in front of you. Go out and grab it. Nobody's going to give it you. You've got to go out there and grab it, but it's right there. It's right within touching distance. Have no fear about loss. Go out there and see what you can win.
Very well said. Dave, thanks for joining us. Johnny as well. Just boxing goes in full circle. We've seen Amir Khan hang him up today. Ben Whittaker signs for Boxer this week. And Dylan Chima, who won the last Boxer series, the lightweights, he's now inked a professional deal with Boxer, and he'll be part of our coverage on Saturday night. So it just shows you anything can happen.